everybody else believes already. So I like what Nick said, is that he said he's against woke nonsense, and if he wins the Conservative Party leadership, he's going to review the Equalities Act. He blames everything on the Equalities Act, but the fact is this has been happening, whether there was an Equality Act 12 years ago or not. And so is this enough for people? I mean, you hope the Conservative Party is for preserving language and statues and the British way of life. You hope that. They're called conservative for a reason.
But they've been in power for 12 years, and on their watch, extreme political correctness, wokeism has infiltrated corporations, the media, and our institutions, public institutions.
Yeah, they haven't given what they've been promising on the tin.
Because if you look at the likes of Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, and of course previously Donald Trump, I mean, they pushed back against this woke nonsense, didn't they?
Well, they did, and I think that's what a conservative party. Remember, conservative is in the name. They should conserve whatever great.
But they don't do that anymore. I mean, DeSantis in America had legislation which required that schools don't talk to primary school children, elementary school kids, about sex. Well, things like gender and orientation, not because the authorities and the government is homophobic or transphobic, but it's just not something a 5-year-old should be thinking about.
Well, I'm with you, and I think that, and he's totally right on this. Did he go far enough? He said up until, I think, the 3rd grade, so if I remember correctly. So he didn't So even Ron DeSantis, the bill should have been, no one can discuss this up until the age of 18.
Oh, yeah, or maybe 21. Nick, are you ready for a conversation about trans rights?
I think we've had plenty, haven't we, Mark? It seems like we do nothing but. I mean, what Rishi's had to do here, he's desperate, he's losing, so he's suddenly said sex means biological sex when he struggled with these questions before, when he couldn't answer what a woman was. Now he's saying protect mothers and women from erasure. And it's so transparent what he's doing. Conservatives, I mean, as Lewis said, they're not conservative. They only say conservative stuff when they're desperate, in this case, especially desperate for votes.
Even Boris wasn't that effusive about what a woman is, was he?
He was quite good. He made a statement about it, and he said they shouldn't be in you know...
Biological sex trumps everything else.
Right, and there shouldn't be this problem in women's sport. Shouldn't have biological men in women's sport. He did come out and say that.
Before that, he spluttered and...
No, it wasn't amazing. It was crumbs, but we're so grateful for crumbs of conservatism, because this is what the Conservative Party do. It's so funny. They obviously know where the country is, because they'll give these things when they know they need votes. But then when they don't, they just carry on with their weird globalist agenda that no one wants. And so Rishi's got a bit desperate, and I think the rhetoric, even though I like the content of what he's saying, I don't think the rhetoric suits him. He's saying, what's the point in stopping the bulldozers in the Greenbelt if we allow left-wing agitators to take a bulldozer to our history? Then he says, we're determined to end the brainwashing, vandalism and finger-pointing. It's just not his tone. His tone is much more the slick Blair tone. So it strikes me he's got a bit desperate, and he's doing things that are not him to try and claw some votes back, obviously.
Yes, I mean, the only truly anti-woke candidate was Kemi Badenoch, wasn't she?
Suella was pretty anti-woke. Suella was very anti-woke, but she got knocked out early. Then Kemi was the next best anti-woke choice. But yes, you're right.
But Boris, he knows women. I mean, he's made enough of them pregnant.
And on that note...
And that's it. And that was the...
do you think, briefly, an election in a couple of years' time, probably it'll be Prime Minister Truss versus Keir Starmer. Do you think the war on woke will be an election issue, or will it be cost of living only?
Well, it's going to be mainly cost of living and all those type of things, but I think the war on woke is bigger than some people claim. Some people say, it's a small Twitter thing. I think it's now infecting everything. We can see the civil service, rail managers getting sacked, police arresting for no reason, all these things we're going to get to. So it is a big issue. And I do think Truss may do better against Starmer than people think, because she's been underestimated so far, and she keeps getting better.
Well, that's right. We'll come to a story about an innocent man who asked a question about, cultural issues and lost his job. We'll come to that shortly.